Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to once again another F1 Manager stream on a Friday night. Your Friday night starts right here, and it's been a bit of a rush getting ready for this one, I've got to say. Indeed, let's get the Ferrari career mode open. I hope you've all had a fantastic weekend so far. I'm just making sure that's right. Of course that's right, because we actually know what we're doing on these things now. Let's just make sure the camera's all set up beautifully as well, as we certainly will do, because for some reason it likes to flicker, this camera. It wants to do it at 60 Hz. It's a bit ambitious, is this camera, which has been quite the story of this evening so far. I hope you are all well. Of course, we are back with our Ferrari save, and do you know what? It's been a very good time at Andretti Cadillac recently on the YouTube saves, and tonight we are back in the Scuderia Ferrari. We are Lewis Hamilton free, of course, on this stream so far and on this save, but you never know how that might change. Everybody, of course, talking about Lewis Hamilton moving to Ferrari. Personally, yeah, I think if Lewis Hamilton decides he's going to get on with the driving, I think it could be quite a decent thing for Lewis Hamilton. Let's hope he certainly does. Yes, Mercedes fan, I saw that, mate, on the YouTube comments as well. Can we sign Lewis for season 3, though? That might be ambitious. We'll hope to get to season 3. I'm hoping to try and get streaming twice a week, but we'll see how this progresses. But certainly, I think it'd be interesting to see how Hamilton does at the side of Charles Leclerc. Paula, how are you? Friday. It's nearly finished. You've nearly finished work for the week, of course you have. Let's have a look. Where are we? We're going to Miami this weekend, of course. Now, I've never been to Miami. It's a place that I would especially like to go to, is Miami. Let's just have a quick flick through all of the bits we need to do. So, we've got some car developments by the looks of things, so we're going to get stuck into those in a little while as well on the car developments. We've got some pit crew training, because the pit crew at the moment have got quite a high chance of mistakes, must be said. So I think we're going to go for the pit stop errors. That to me would balance a few things out. We'll go for that this time. And we've got a little bit of time there as well. We've got Imola. No, not Imola. We've got, yeah, Imola coming up after this. And then, of course, Monaco as well. So we'll confirm the changes for that. We just want to lessen the chance of errors, it must be said, in these early weeks. And then we'll worry about the speed a little bit later on, because it must be said, we've certainly had some speed in the car. If we have a look at the last episode in Baku, stream, yeah, we're streaming live, of course. In Baku, we did rather well. Charles Leclerc absolutely bossed it. We got the strategy absolutely cock on. That's the Sheffieldism for you. In Baku, I've actually flummoxed myself there. Checo Perez got P2. Carlos Sainz couldn't quite hold on in P3, but we did beat the Red Bulls again, which is not something you normally end up doing. Standings-wise, we are top of the Constructors' standings by 14 points. And, of course, we are top of the Drivers' standings with Charles Leclerc. Where is Lewis Hamilton? Lewis Hamilton's down in P8 at the minute. We would be better off signing Lance Stroll than Lewis Hamilton at this moment in time. Has said no one ever, apart from me, just now. So, car parts development. Let's have a look. We've got some inspections failed. As front wing, we're going to install a replacement. We've still got 3 in the warehouse as well. I know this is possibly not the fun bit of the stream, but of course developing the car, vitally important. Let's have a look where we are in terms of everything on the grid. Acceleration, we could do a little bit of work, it must be said. Medium speed, high speed cornering, that's absolutely crucial. We have, of course, got the opportunity to make another couple of upgrades here. Let me just refresh myself with what we've got. We've had a new front wing already. We've had a new rear wing already. New side pods, new underfloor. There's not much that we haven't had new, is there? So we're going to put 2 bigger upgrades on. Of course we are. Let's get to the design. Now, acceleration is something we really need to be looking at. And looking at that, it may be... I might just go big on the underfloor, you know. I think that could be a good option for us. It seems daft that we haven't upgraded the chassis and the suspension, so maybe we take a little look at these. So we're going to put 2.2 in terms of the chassis, and we'll also put half of the hours into that as well. I think we'll just bring down the lifespan. Let's just put that to where that puts us on the grid. It's not huge gains, it must be said, but we may have a big chassis upgrade towards the end. That seems to work for us. We'll get 6 guys on that and we'll rush that as well. 14 days. And I think we're going to leave it at that for the moment, because what I might do is do that first upgrade, and then when we get to the second bit, we'll do it once again, so we've got a much improved chassis. Because I think in terms of the car part analysis, the chassis is probably one of the worst bits of the car. If we have a look at the front wing, that's pretty decent apart from low speed. Rear wing, pretty similar. So the chassis is probably an area that we really need to have a look at. Let's continue forward towards the weekend. We've got an inbox response as well. The chassis got a reduced deadline. Earlier than expected, my word. We like that. When's that going to be done then? That is going to be done just after this Grand Prix. So we might even get that on for the Imola Grand Prix. So that's exciting. But let's have a look at what we're looking at for this weekend then. We have got Miami Race to Glory, my friend. How are you? I hope you are well. You're joining us just as we're getting into the weekend preparation. So, of course, and by the way, did you notice, people? I actually scheduled it this week. I actually put a schedule on YouTube and I put a schedule on Twitch. So, yes, I'm learning how to push new buttons, what I've not pushed so far. I actually had to do a business presentation before this. So, I'm full of beans this evening. Full of beans indeed. We've got 57 laps around Miami. Like I said, never been to Miami. I'd love to go to Miami. I will go to Miami one day, I am sure. I am going to... Obviously, you're going to dress like Mike Lowry. I don't know if you've seen Bad Boys, but that's the idea, innit? You've got to do the... It's got to be a bit larger than life in Miami, as we all know. First Grand Prix in 2022, when they put all that fake water in. Let's have a look what this is going to suit. It's going to suit low-speed cornering. We are not that good at low-speed cornering. We're not bad, but we're not that good, so we may struggle a bit here. Expect a strategy. You can try a one-stop. You can try a two-stop. We'll see how that plays out. But we are going to go for the performance targets, reaching Q3. The qualifying position, we're going to go for 2 cars in the top 6, I think. And obviously both cars are going to reach Q2. You did notice you were looking forward to it since yesterday. See, building that excitement up. We're starting to build this up a little bit, this streaming. Finishing position, let's have a little look what we said. 2 cars in the top 4 according to the expectations. Should we go for a fastest lap? Should we guarantee a fastest lap? Shall we? Yeah, why not? That might actually mean we try a little bit of a different strategy as well. So that's that. Finish position streak, we're all good to go. Let's just make sure that we've got all the bad engine components in for practice, which I think is vitally important because it does save us a little bit. I am starting to see on my Andretti save at the moment that cost cap is such a nightmare this year. The cost cap is so easy to breach. I mean, really, we don't really need to do this at this moment in time, but we will do. Yeah, the cost cap is so easy to breach. It's absolutely ridiculous. Do a 2-stop for the fastest lap. Right, we're going to split the strategy then. We aren't even going to the weekend yet, and we're talking strategy. See, this is why we love it. The Magic City, Miami. My word. Has anybody else in the stream been to Miami, by the way? Because I'd love to know if you have and what it's like there. We've got a bit of a cloudy practice, cloudy Saturday for qualifying. We should be okay. I'm going to do this magic car setup thing because I don't know about you guys. And if you've got the time on your answer to this, I certainly applaud you for it. But in terms of car setups, I haven't got 2 or 3 hours to be sort of doing this. So I do tend to sort of use some standardized values in here, which normally are quite good, it must be said. And it just makes the game a bit more fun to me to get to the racy bits, because as much as practice, I do enjoy... I've watched practice a little bit in real life, but I do enjoy... more the qualifying. Everybody enjoys the qualifying and the racing, don't they? But setting up the car to a T is an acquired taste, and unfortunately one that I don't quite have, and it's mainly due to time constraints, it must be said. But we are going to simulate to qualifying 1, and then hopefully get straight back in to the qualifying. So Charles Leclerc actually topped practice 3. My word, that's not bad, is it? That bodes well for the weekend, it must be said. 100% track acclimatation, setup satisfaction is rather good for both cars. It's all looking a little bit good, isn't it? Carlos Sainz, it must be said, a little bit further behind his teammate, which can sometimes happen
We're moving
Of
on
course.
now to the all-important qualifying
But we
session.
are going to qualify. And that stadium, by the way, is quite a thing. I still love this livery more than anything. And of course, there's quite a big sporting event going off in the United of the Americas this weekend. It's the Super Bowl. I've tried to follow the NFL as much as I possibly can, but I've not quite kept up with it as I'd like to. But we'll have to see. I'm going to try and stay up and watch a bit, but I've got quite a busy week coming up. So it's going to be a rather interesting one. We're happy on the car parts. Mercedes fan in the Alfa Romeo Sabre, who is the perfect driver for development. Teo Pourchaire, and I can say that with such conviction, because if you've been watching the YouTube series, admittedly we're in season 3, I want to say. I think we're in season 3. You've got to go for Teo Pourchaire, because he is absolute lightning. Well, he were at the start of the thing as well. What I normally do with Sim FP1, adjust the setup. Sim P2, adjust the setup. Yeah, 90% setups. Why not? If that works for you, my friend, best way to do it. We are just going to try and get through Q1 and Q2 on the one set of tyres. So let's get straight into it. We're going to get straight out in Miami because the sun is shining in Miami at this moment in time. The sun is very much shining, and Carlos Sainz is going out on his lap. Who do I rate in the livery so far? I did quite like the Williams one, although it's obviously quite simple. I haven't seen many of them. I've seen the Alpine one, which I know we're getting quite a little bit of stick, which I've managed Alpine on here, so I'm a little bit biased. But I don't mind the Alpine one. I prefer it to like the full pink. Get Hamilton in the team. Mate, everybody's getting Hamilton in the team. We're going to let Leclerc and Sainz battle this out this season, but definitely in Season 2, Hamilton could be one that we look at. But I think Carlos Sainz has been quite unfortunate to lose it to Hamilton, because Carlos Sainz is a driver, and you guys let me know who I rate massively. Let's get to the end of this first qualifying lap, hopefully. We'll have a good one. We've got a little bit of traffic with Joe and Piastri, but I don't think that's going to cost us too much. It might cost Sainz a little bit. But Sainz actually did better than Leclerc there, so that's not bad at all. I like the V-Carb one and the Stake one. Yeah, the green one, isn't it? The Stake F1 team one, the Sauber. So I think at the moment they look a little bit different. Obviously, a Red Bull's going to look like a Red Bull. I do very much like this Ferrari. I must admit, I know when we're next out on track, this Ferrari livery that they did for Las Vegas, I thought was absolutely class. So, yeah, definitely. Sainz will leave them for Audi, possibly so. I think that would be a good move for Carlos Sainz. I'd quite like to see Sainz in a Merc. As well, I reckon Alonso goes to Merc for 2 seasons and Antonelli replaces him. Do you reckon Alonso would go back to Mercedes? And do you think he'd leave Aston Martin? I think he'd be quite... Is he not quite happy at Aston Martin? I know they didn't quite develop in the second half of last season in the way that they possibly should have. But I would expect that they've possibly learned the mistakes from that. But to be honest, Ferrari will go really deep red, I reckon. Yeah, they may do. They may do. If you've not watched that film as well, Ferrari, that's a very interesting film. I think that were I didn't really expect it to be as sort of good as it was. It was very different to what I expected. Vettel coming out of retirement. See, I expected Vettel to sort of rock up in Formula E or something like that. Obviously, because there are all these sort of environmental sort of causes that he supports. I thought he might rock up in that. I know they're trying to go for the net zero. Would that tempt him back? Maybe. But if Vettel in a Merc, I mean, that's an interesting setup. And of course, Mick Schumacher there as well. You can possibly see why that would work. Of course, we are going to try and get through Q2 on one set of tyres as well. So let's get straight into Q2. It would be a bit of an Alonso move. I reckon if Aston Martin set off like an house on fire next season, which I'm kind of expecting that they were... Well, I think they'll be up towards the front. I think McLaren will continue to make good gains as well. But... I mean, I do like Red Bull. I do like, obviously, Verstappen. I don't make no secret of that. But I did like Verstappen before he started winning every single race, I must point out. But no, I would like to see the gap close up a little bit, because I understand it were a little bit frustrating just watching Max sort of drive around. But, yeah, I think it'll be nice if there's a bit of a closer grid next season. But... we shall see, we shall see. But, I mean, this livery of Ferrari, I mean, they could have just kept this. Because this Ferrari livery looks absolutely class, I think. Again, Leclerc top, Sainz second, Perez third. That looks a decent lap from my Ferrari drivers. And at the moment, Verstappen splits us, but Charles Leclerc is in P1. Sainz not enjoying it around Miami as much at this moment in time, it must be said. We are going to take our time on the strategy. We're, of course, going to use as nice Q3 tactical qualifying that we've got now. I seem very dark in here tonight. But maybe that's, you know, better complexion. The less you can see on my face, the better, of course. And I am so thirsty today. I've hardly drank a lot today, so... There we go. Perez tops. 0.4 of a second gain at the end. That really shows the pace of that Red Bull. As we fast forward on, we're of course through to Q3 just on the one set of soft compound tyres. That was a big lap, that, from Checo Perez. And of course the Checo Perez thing comes into all this with Mercedes as well. Would Checo Perez fancy Mercedes? Maybe. And would that boost Mercedes up? I don't know. You guys let me know. I think Checo Perez, it's an interesting one. Where's he going to be in a couple of years' time? Right, let's get to Q3. Just out of curiosity, let's just make sure. Circuit info. 1 stops medium onto hards, 2 stops soft, medium, soft. So if we can save a decent set of tyres, we've got 3 sets. We may as well use as tyres up here, aren't we? So we are going to go for the old 2 laps at the start of qualifying. We're going to enjoy the cool down lap. And there we go. Checo to Aston Martin. I like that. I would like to see Carlos Sainz in a Merc. I really would. I don't know why. I just think it would work. Yeah, that is a good strategy, mate. Honestly, I don't know where I came up with this strategy for the qualifying. Of course, I know it was you that put me onto this. And I've been using it in the Andretti saves as well. Obviously, I only sort of show the end of qualifying to keep the video lengths down. But it is a very good strategy and it's been working. Checo to Aston Martin, though, I think could be really interesting. As Charles Leclerc starts to warm his tyres up, it's going to be a little bit cloudier in a bit. Does it work? I've seen it, yeah.
And focus on your tyre steps.
It's weird. I haven't quite worked out the perfect Q3 tactics yet. We are just going to start flying around a little bit. I haven't seen that work yet. It's weird because on the F123 game, if you're going any sort of qualifying, you tend to go out as late as you possibly can, don't you? And then obviously you get the best track conditions. But the other cars on track don't seem to do it on this, which means that you get caught in traffic. Leclerc's just gone 7 tenths quicker than Verstappen. Although we didn't actually get a time there. Let's just have a quick look at that last time. 1:28.4. We were only half a tenth off Verstappen. We're of course going round again. Verstappen was on a scrub set of tyres, and our 2 guys going for it. Checo and Stroll could be a really interesting one. Do you reckon Lance Stroll's going to stay though? We are literally 600ths of a second bit off Max Verstappen. There's plenty of options to get pole position here today, I would suggest. So we're going to fast forward on a little bit. Now, I'm wondering, have we timed this too late here? Because they've done 2 laps and a cooldown lap, we are going to have to get these guys in and get them straight back out. Right, in we come. Right, Leclerc, straight away, run plan, 1 lap. My word, we are cutting this fine. We are cutting this incredibly fine. We've seen a few cars going out already. Verstappen hasn't yet, so we're going to go out when Verstappen goes out because Red Bull tend to get the strategies absolutely cock on with that. So let's have a look. We've got Perez and Russell. Hamilton's now going out. Verstappen's now going out, which is when we are going to go out because Verstappen tends to get everything right on this game. I don't know if you've noticed. He wins every single race most of the time, but we're going to be blocking off Russell here as well. I'd like Russell to get away from us. What I don't like there is our 2 Ferraris are really now bunched up. And did we just jump out of the way for Checo Perez? I mean, this can't be ideal. I wouldn't suggest. For the final lap of qualifying. Let's just fast forward on a little bit here.
Taking it back.
I mean, we may get a little bit of slipstream, but as we're coming towards the sort of middle sector of the lap, yeah, this might get blocked by Russell. I think we dived out of the way for Perez. Looking at that map there, I think we dived out of the way. We yellow through the first and second sectors. This is not looking ideal. Verstappen looks like he's on an absolute flyer. Now, this is where Carlos Sainz may get in a little bit because he's going to get the slipstream here. Leclerc's in front. I would fancy that we've got Perez covered. We will have a car on the front row. It's just here. Sainz may get the toe and may improve because of it. Doesn't look like it, though, at this moment in time. It's a 127 or what we're going to do. My word, I think we were miles away then, weren't we? That was not positive at all, that final run. And that is going to mean that Max Verstappen, of course, who else is on pole, only by 600ths of a second, I may add. Sainz in P2, Leclerc P3. Right, strategy today. We know we're after the fastest lap. So this is going to be absolutely crucial, this strategy. I agree, Race to Glory. They were too close together. I was sure that's once again, they probably space each other out a little bit more in real life.
Drivers have to take chances around the street circuit.
But
hope those chances
obviously, it's not real life. So there we go. Checo's Q2, he would have indeed, it would have. Checo had a blinding Q2. Right then, strategy. Now, let's have a little look at his tyres. 2 fresh sets of softs, a medium and a hard. I'm guessing that's the same for both cars. It certainly is. Let's have a little look at what's the fastest. Apparently, the 2-stop is the fastest. Leclerc on the softs, on the mediums, on the softs once again. So really, in that respect, if that is so quick, it may make sense to just bolt away early doors, which is what I'd like to do. I'd like to put a gap between us and the rest of the field, get away from them, and then we can obviously plan, because I reckon we're going to have to... Perez doesn't always perform well in the races. He did towards the end of the last one. We're going to go very aggressive on everything at the start, and I think that's it. I don't think there's anything too much to change. We've got the 2-stop. I'm going to take a swig of drink because I'm going to be commentating a little bit now. So that's it then. P2, P3. Let's get straight into it. This is the Miami Grand Prix. Remember, we are top of the constructors. We are top of the drivers' standings. We could... I want to maintain that. I want to win both titles this season. And that Scuderia Red Ferrari, it just looks gorgeous, doesn't it? Does it not look gorgeous? When you think Formula 1, and you can understand why Lewis Hamilton's done this, you want to drive for Ferrari. It might just be me, but you want to drive for Ferrari, and that's what I think you've got to try and achieve. But this is it.
Here we go with the Miami Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
And away we go. Max Verstappen got a good start, but so did our 2 Ferraris. Checo Perez is on the medium compounder tyre. Checo Perez might be trying the 1-stop today. I thought I heard a couple of bumps and bangs there. We've had no yellow flags early doors, but it is Charles Leclerc who takes P2. He got that inside line, and now we are chasing down Verstappen. I would expect us to manage to break away from Perez and Stroll. Perez and Stroll are on the medium compounder tyres and battling early doors, whereas our 2 guys on the soft compound, this is what we wanted to do. Break away from the pack, especially when they're on the mediums. We will have the tyre offset all the way. I have known late safety cars around Miami, and there's normally quite a decent chance of safety cars around here as well. If that happens, of course, we will adjust the strategy accordingly. But as we come towards the middle sector of lap 1, Verstappen is leading from Leclerc and Sainz. Perez in P4. He's 7/10 of a second behind Carlos Sainz. Then comes Stroll. Hamilton, of course, in P6. I bet he's wishing he were in a red Ferrari right now. Alonso P7, Russell P8, Gasly's in P9. We love Pierre Gasly on this channel. Of course we love Pierre Gasly on this channel. Alexander Albon P10 and Yuki Tsunoda in P11. This makes me rather sad though. Lando Norris, who is doing absolute wonders in the YouTube save, the YouTube series, must be said. If you're not subscribed to that, do it, because we're on the road to 500 subscribers. We've got the watch hours now. We just need those extra last few subscribers, and then we're going to start doing other things as well. So that's going to be exciting for us. But as we come towards the end of lap 1, we are very, very close to dropping Checo Perez out of the DRS. He's struggling a little bit, and we're tagging onto Verstappen beautifully. Let's push on a little bit as we just drop it on the tyres down to aggressive. I don't mind us being aggressive on the tyres today. And where we are at this moment in time, I'm just thinking about the strategy. If we were to go onto that soft tyre a little bit quicker at the end, I mean, look at that. That's gained us 2 seconds straight away. So we're going to do that on both cars. Bam, bam, bam. Lovely. See, this is the bits you don't get to see on YouTube when you're on the videos. Right. So, let's fast forward on a little bit now. We're just going to try and bring that... we've dropped Perez at a rate of knots, haven't we? We're sticking with Verstappen easily. We can now start to conserve on the fuel. Not conserve on the fuel, but just take us time and manage the fuel quite well. And in terms of the tyres as well, as much as I want to be aggressive, let's get them back into a window that we'd like to get into. We are dropping Perez at a rate of knots. That's not a problem. I say that. Perez... And then, to be fair, Leclerc as well. We are close to dropping out of the DRS of Max Verstappen. That is not something we want to see. On lap 3, Perez nearly getting back into it. Did Perez get DRS there? He didn't. That's going to help us somewhat. So we'll push on again. We are not dropping these 2 cars behind us at the rate of knots in which I expected. I don't want to burn all his battery early doors here as we're on lap 3. But Checo Perez, that's it, 1.8 seconds. We're starting to settle into his groove a little bit now. We can't seem to get the tyre temperatures in that perfect window. Exactly, Race to Glory. I do not want to drop out of DRS early doors. And I've just realised as well, just bear with me a second, my head is normally there. Sorry, I've been covering up Carlos Sainz's DRS, and you want to see that more than you want to see my face over there. So look, I'm in the middle now. I'm controlling both. But... the straights will help you. It certainly will. We're bringing the tyres down now. That's starting to look a bit more favourable for us. 2.2 seconds. Leclerc looks like he's having a right ding-dong battle so far with Verstappen. Sainz is struggling to keep on top of it, isn't he? At this moment in time, Carlos Sainz in P3 at the moment, just about hanging on to his teammate Charles Leclerc. We're going to push him a little bit further on the fuel, Carlos Sainz, because he really needs to keep in touch with these front 2. Okay. But we're going to fast forward on again now as we... my word, Carlos Sainz has lost the DRS. What is he doing today? Carlos Sainz does not enjoy Miami. He's lost DRS down here. Oh, he hasn't. He's just about got it back. So we're just going to fast forward on a little bit. That's it. Put him back down to neutral. He's quite okay on the fuel at the minute, so we'll go back to his full speed. We'll take you up towards lap 10. We've got 57 laps today, of course, tagging onto the back of Verstappen, but look at this leading pack. You were 8 takes behind at the start of the final straight. Exactly. It's now happening, and Leclerc is in the lead. We didn't get a replay of that, I don't believe, unless I was watching the chat a little bit too much there. But Charles Leclerc now leading the Grand Prix. 6 tenths back is Verstappen. And then Carlos Sainz is well in distance as well. What I am keen to look at here is the last laps of the Grand Prix and what sort of times we're lapping at. You reckon we can drop Verstappen? That is quite an interesting topic. Do you reckon we can? He's what, half a second? I think it'd be a gamble. I mean, Carlos Sainz is well up the back of Max Verstappen. I will fast forwarding. I apologise for that. I do apologise for that. Carlos Sainz now, I would suggest that's gap to the leader, isn't it? 4 tenths. I can't see us dropping Verstappen. I think Verstappen's going to be with us for the long haul here. I'm more interested in this gap that we sort of get in between us and Checo Perez. If we have a little look at the tyres, Verstappen's burning his. We can start being a little bit more aggressive on ours, especially with Leclerc, which actually may lead us to dropping him like you said. Let's have a little look at this. Should we try and drop him for 1 lap? Let's have a look. We are going to push with Leclerc. We are going to push on the fuel, push on the battery, push on absolutely everything. We've got the opportunity here to possibly break away from Max Verstappen. Just to also have a quick look at the pre-race report on the time considerations. We've got 22 seconds for a green flag pit stop, or we have got 16 seconds for a safety car as well. Now, can Leclerc drop Verstappen? This is absolutely crucial. We'll just put it on 2 times. And like you said, Race to Glory, Max Verstappen, we appear to have dropped him. He's just about got DRS again. But I reckon now, by the time we get to the next straight, which we have, Charles Leclerc, I mean, Tech About has dropped Max Verstappen, and that is really going to help Checo Perez, and that is going to hinder the Red Bull guys. So fair play. We had to get the tyres into the window, which we wanted to. And now Carlos Sainz can just tag onto the back of Verstappen. It is obvious which driver is quicker today for us. Let's just fast forward on now towards lap 10, which we will do. They are long laps here at Miami. As Jurgen Klopp would say, boom, I agree. And I've never quoted Jurgen Klopp in my... I'm guessing, are you a Liverpool fan? You'll have to let me know on that. I've just finished Imola in my Alpine save. I was so close to winning with Gasly. He took himself and Sainz out on the final lap. Oh my days, I am sorry to hear that. Is it something that normally happens? I've very rarely seen it on the last lap, I must say. But and bearing in mind I started and I've had Pierre Gasly for 3 seasons. He's prone to a little bit of a crash. Were you being aggressive on the overtaking? That is something I would be asking. Were you being overly aggressive, obviously, on this sort of section here? Klopp has taken off our players. Oh, Southampton fan. Mate, you will be probably swapping positions with us as a Sheffield United fan this season. Did you have the overtake aggression on high? I have had 1 crash on the final lap. Absolutely. It's not something I've seen that's common, it must be said, but of course it can happen. But no, Southampton doing really, really well at this moment in time. You must be very, very pleased. Of course, a red flag. Wow. And that were it then. Game over, of course. But no, we've got Charles Leclerc. 2.4 seconds is now the gap to Sainz. We are laughing here. We are absolutely laughing with Charles Leclerc. On lap 10, we'll have a full rundown, of course. Leclerc is leading and has crucially got the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. We've then got Verstappen in P2, Sainz in P3. Then comes Perez, Stroll, Alonso, Hamilton, Russell, Gasly and Albon is in the top 10. Norris in P16, Oscar Piastri in P17. 23 games unbeaten, cough, cough. Wow. I've got to admit, and I will say this to you now, the Championship is such a better league than the Premier League. And as a Sheffield United fan, I know that's easy to say when we're bottom of the league. But this league, my word, the Championship is so much better. It's so much more competitive. I know you're winning games at, well, I won't say to canter, but you've won a lot of games on trot. The Championship is such a much better league, in my opinion. Oh, here we go. Carlos Sainz, I'll get back to chat in a second. Carlos Sainz has overtaken Max Verstappen. Let's have a little look at this. Into the left-hander. Job done by Carlos Sainz. He looks like he enjoyed that one. Did he get the DRS at the straights as well? I'm hoping to see that rear wing of the Ferrari open here. Otherwise, Verstappen may be back in front. He certainly isn't, because Carlos Sainz, despite Verstappen having the DRS, is back in front and can be a little bit more aggressive on the tyres, because Verstappen, 61% tyres. We are doing as best at this moment in time. Leclerc, I don't really feel the need to push on the tyres with at the minute. I'd rather save them a little bit. The Championship is more competitive. Exactly it is, because you get your team. I mean, I think it's Sheffield Wednesday and Birmingham who's on the telly tonight. That is a game that either can win. Obviously, I want Birmingham to win. But, yeah, it's definitely so much better. I do really like that small bone in the midfield that Southampton's got. I think he's a very good player as well. I do think he's a cracking little player. We've just signed Mason Holgate. Why we've done that, beyond me. But we're here to talk F1, of course, with... well, we're not here to talk F1. We're here to play the F1 game. We'll talk about anything here on the channel. And what a place for Carlos to overtake. Absolutely. Carlos Sainz doing everything. He is a smooth operator. Smooth operator. He's all that. He is a smooth operator, of course. And there he's got... See how much we're into that, then. Closing my eyes, giving you a bit of karaoke as well. This is what you come for on a Friday night, I know. We're on lap 11. We might as well fast forward on. When's our pit stop? Around lap 16, 17. So we'll move on. We do have a yellow flag. Yellow flag on circuit. Is this going to cause a safety car? It doesn't look like it is at the moment. Let's have a look. It's Esteban Ocon in the Alpine up against the Williams, I believe, of Alexander Albon. And it was a little bit messy between the two. Is there going to be a safety car? It doesn't look like there is. There was a bit of debris on circuit. And I also realised, I think it was in the last episode, you mentioned like there's a load of debris everywhere. And I'd actually said that in a video as well, so fair play. I don't know if I'd released it before you said it or after. But fair play to you. If it was after, it was certainly you that I picked it up from. But yeah, Smallbone, I think he's a very good technical footballer in that midfield. And I do like that type. Let's have a look. Whose front wing's hanging off? It's not Alexander Albon's. It's not Ocon's. I would expect Albon to be coming in for damage. And we have got an incident involving... I have never seen that before. Have you ever seen that before at the top? Incident involving under investigation. I have never seen that. Maybe that's because I'm fast forwarding at times, but my word. You're almost caught up, mate. Honestly, the last 3 or 4 episodes have been fantastic. I'm a bit concerned we might struggle towards the end of the season because of this cost cap. But, yeah, it's been a fantastic season so far. Carlos Sainz is just going to have to calm down a little bit with Verstappen.
Slow down now.
And I quite like Carlos Sainz to possibly start saving a little bit of fuel. But I've never seen that race to glory on this. But, like I said, we are coming in around lap 18. So we're just going to fast forward on now. Yeah, because normally when I'm in this view, I sort of see it like this. We've just had Verstappen overtake Sainz, so let's have a little look at this.
Now we're watching Max Verstappen here. The gap opens up for them.
I'm thinking in terms of pit stop strategies now. We get Carlos Sainz in earlier. We undercut Verstappen, push like hell,
thank you very much.
break that DRS, then we bring in Charles Leclerc. What do you think to that? I think that's the way to do it. Carlos Sainz can start possibly now topping up a little bit of ERS because I want him to push like mad when he comes out. So let me know your thoughts on that. But I think we bring in Sainz pretty early, get him in, get him onto the mediums, get pushing, and then Leclerc can obviously come in a lap later. That's how I think we should approach this. What did we say? Did we say it was 22 seconds? Undercut is very powerful in clean air. See, Paula, thank you very much. Smooth operator. See, we're going to miss that on the Ferrari radio, aren't we? Of course we are. Right, we did say 22 seconds, didn't we? 22 seconds for a green flag pit stop. So, I reckon what we're looking at, 22 seconds. Sainz is on 3 seconds. 22 would take us... Oh, look at that gap, ladies and gentlemen. 26 seconds, Gasly. That is pretty damn perfect for Carlos Sainz. So... Carlos Sainz, because he's topping up ERS, has just lost DRS, which is not ideal at all. So we're going to push again with Carlos Sainz to get him back in the DRS of Max Verstappen. That's crucial. And of course, he's done that straight away because he's an absolute tank. So that's it. He can now be on aggressive. Leclerc, all right, Verstappen's starting to catch him a little bit, but not too much. We're now going to start burning the tyres up with Leclerc. But this is going to be it. We're going to get the undercut with Sainz. I might even bring him in next lap, you know. 22 seconds. I mean, the obvious thing is to bring in Carlos Sainz probably on lap 17, and then we bring in. Hold on, maybe not. Maybe bring him. Do we bring him in next lap? I think we could possibly bring Carlos Sainz in next lap. 22 seconds. That is definitely a gap now that we need to be exploiting. So Carlos Sainz, pit options onto the medium tyre next lap. We are going to get Carlos Sainz in. Leclerc's just been pushing a little bit more again, which is fine. But then we force Max Verstappen into a very difficult decision here. Does he cover off Carlos Sainz or does he not? Right, let's fast forward on a little bit now because we've got Carlos Sainz and Verstappen doing battle. And it looks there. I don't know what's quite happened to Carlos Sainz. I think he's just lost DRS. But he is coming. Oh, now this is interesting. We've got a yellow flag on circuit. Is this going to bring out a safety car? We have a crash. Nick De Vries. Hey, nah, come on. It's as though it was planned. Wait for it. Nick De Vries into the left-hander, and there is De Vries all over the track. That is what we wanted. Right on cue. De Vries everywhere. Beautiful work. We aren't going to get a yellow flag on circuit. I've got to say, we've got the Hugo Boss livery on that in our YouTube save, and it looks so much better than the Alpha Tauri. Carlos Sainz obviously losing that DRS, but he's going to, we reckon, get this back with the undercut. How far away is he? He's 3.7 kilometres away. So we're just going to fast forward on a little bit now. In fairness, he nearly got back in the DRS then, did Carlos Sainz. He's catching Verstappen. 4.4 seconds gap to Leclerc. He can run this race tonight. He's got every opportunity of winning this. But into the pits comes Carlos Sainz. He's had a decent race so far as Carlos. I reckon we can get him out in front of Gasly. We might actually be closer to Hamilton now. We will get Charles Leclerc in this lap. to react as well, just to cover off Verstappen from the undercut. My Siri wants to get involved here. Right, come on, boys. We want a good pit stop. Well done, Ferrari pit crew. 2.8 seconds. It's a sub 3 second. Hamilton is in. Where is Pierre Gasly? He's just coming on to the start-finish straight. Carlos Sainz will be keeping a keen eye on where the Gasman is. But Carlos Sainz is out in clean air. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the first part of the strategy for Carlos Sainz. Absolutely done. And now it is time to push on everything. Get going, Carlos. And we're now going to just calm this down a bit with Charles Leclerc. He don't need to be absolutely as aggressive at this moment in time. Now, Leclerc, 22 seconds, brings him out 3 seconds in front of his teammate. We would expect Russell for them pits as well. 2.8 seconds is not bad, Paula. Yes, absolutely. There we go. Carlos Sainz in to 7 seconds. I think if it's a sub 3 second pit stop, I think we are pretty much spot on. So we're now going to just wait for Charles Leclerc to come in. We'll just fast forward him on a little bit, Charles Leclerc. He's... Oh, hold on. Wait a minute. Charles Leclerc is coming in this lap, is he not? Yes, he is. Right. Whoa, thought we got that wrong there. But no, Charles Leclerc, we're just going to switch him back onto attack mode so when he comes out. So I reckon Charles Leclerc should come out just behind George Russell and in front of Carlos Sainz. That is where I think we are going to see him. And Max Verstappen is into a pit. You had 2.5 seconds and felt like a pro. You're just rubbing it in. You're rubbing it in, Paula. On a Friday as well. Come on. Max Verstappen's pit stop were absolutely fantastic, as was Charles Leclerc's. 2.7 seconds. We were more intrigued with Verstappen's there because where is Carlos Sainz? Carlos Sainz is coming down the start-finish straight. Verstappen's still trundling out. Carlos Sainz is in front of Verstappen, not by much, but we did get him. And now, I mean, Leclerc's out. Leclerc's looking comfortable. 3 seconds now. He can push on everything as well as he comes out of the pits. Can Sainz drop Verstappen? It certainly looks like he can. We are still giving it absolutely everything. Thanks, Race to Glory. It certainly was. 1.5 seconds. How powerful was that undercut there? Because Verstappen was 1.5 in front of us. He's now gone to 1.5 behind us. We're just going to continue pushing for a little while longer to see if we can really build the gap to Verstappen. Sainz is now coming up to the back of George Russell, which gives us an opportunity to just tone it down a little bit. I don't want to push like mad with Charles Leclerc. I don't see the need to. Russell's now in for his pit stop just as Carlos Sainz reached him. That's absolutely ideal. As you said, Race to Glory, we have got warmer tyres as well. Verstappen is starting to close back in. I think Verstappen, who is on the soft compounder tyre, something we didn't notice. Max Verstappen has gone onto a worn set of soft compound tyres. That bodes very, very well for us towards the end of this Grand Prix because, of course, both of our cars are going to be on the softs. George Russell's come out onto the mediums. We've got Magnussen and Ocon. We're going to watch a Haas pit stop because we're... Oh, look at this guy at the front right. He's giving it everything. He can't quite get that. Oh, my word. Kevin Magnussen. That was shocking. In fact, we're going to watch a replay of that because that was that bad.
This was Kevin
Balanced
Magnussen,
pit stop errors and gym time seem to work pretty well. Right. But just look at this guy on the front right. Oh, my word. He's trying to get it off with a screwdriver. This man's... Oh, that is shocking, isn't it? That is so poor from the Haas pit crew. But yeah, balanced pit stop errors and gym time. I will certainly look to implement that. We might do that on this, to be fair. I'm not actually now that fussed if Verstappen catches Sainz because he's on the soft compound tyres. Charles Leclerc looks like he's starting to do bits. He's just got past Fernando Alonso, which is crucial. What we don't want is any sort of silly mistakes or crashes now. But there is Charles Leclerc on the right-hander through the chicane. Lovely work. And that is a lovely overtake, it must be said. Fantastic work from him. Who's going to get the DRS here? Is it going to be Leclerc? Is it going to be Alonso? It's going to be Alonso, but I don't think Alonso's simply got the tyres to cope with him. So at this moment, Alonso does look like he's going to have a go though here, and he's got it. He's absolutely got it. Stroll and Perez are into the pits, and that is pretty much all she wrote because Sainz is just about keeping Verstappen at bay, which is nice to see. We can be a little bit more aggressive possibly on those tyres, and I'm going to do the same with Charles Leclerc. We might as well push while the iron's hot. But yeah, we'll fast forward on in a little moment once I've caught up with chat. To be honest, in terms of pit stops, trying to focus on pit stop errors for the first half, and then it's completely focused on time. As long as the pit crew, yeah, I think the pit crew fatigue is absolutely crucial. It's similar to sort of confidence in the guys as well. Right, let's fast forward on a little bit now, because I'm expecting to see Max Verstappen causing us a little bit of grief, which he certainly is doing. But at the moment, Sainz is doing a great job of just holding up Max Verstappen. And Max Verstappen can't quite, at the moment, get past Carlos Sainz. So this is working very, very well indeed. Carlos Sainz has obviously got a bit of fuel to conserve, but we'll worry about that towards the end. Leclerc is doing a great job. And what must be said is Verstappen's got these soft compound tyres. He's not been able to use them to close up on Leclerc. And in terms of fastest pit stop as well, towards the end of this Grand Prix, we are going to be laughing. Let's just have a little look on board from Max Verstappen's point of view. We've not had an on board yet much, but Max Verstappen on those soft compounds that, of course, are wearing at a greater rate than Carlos Sainz's. At this moment in time, Carlos Sainz is about to get DRS from Fernando Alonso. He could put an Aston Martin between himself and this Red Bull at this moment in time. But it does look a lovely track to get around. Lance Stroll has just got the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. We will continue on moving forward here. Carlos Sainz, is he going to manage to get past Alonso? Not quite yet, because Verstappen looks like he's just about to get him. And Max Verstappen does get him. It's great work from Verstappen. It probably were coming, but I'm not, as I say, I'm not too concerned about this. Let's have a look. DRS wide open. Carlos Sainz didn't quite get in the DRS of Alonso when we wanted him to, and Verstappen now will be looking to put a car between himself and Carlos Sainz. Great work from Max Verstappen, but again, soft compound tyres. It's not a fair fight at the moment, but what this will suit is Carlos Sainz just taking a little bit more care of his tyres, saving a little bit of fuel. Okay. Yeah, the dirty air has probably muddied his tyres as well. I mean, he's on 70% now, is Max Verstappen. Sainz on 80, and Sainz in the clean air here as well. Verstappen's chasing down Alonso at all times, but Carlos Sainz just sitting behind him. There's no need to push on so far. We are approaching the halfway mark. We'll fast forward on a little bit more, probably until Alonso decides he's coming in for a pit stop, which at this moment in time he isn't. Carlos Sainz has just lost DRS, which is a little bit concerning because we don't want to do that. We haven't really got the ERS to fight back with either at this moment in time. So let's see how this plays out. We've gone aggressive on the tyres. Alonso is stopping out forever. We need Fernando Alonso. Right, we've got back in the DRS of Fernando Alonso, who's just lost the DRS of Max Verstappen. 25 laps gone. Leclerc is leading by 6.6 seconds, and we're going to be on the faster tyre at the end. It's all boding very, very well for Charles Leclerc so far. He looks in very imperious form in qualifying as well. Carlos Sainz is having a tougher day, it must be said. But he's got Fernando Alonso. I would expect to see Carlos Sainz get past Fernando Alonso pretty quickly. And AlphaTauri then. I mean, Carlos sounded a bit relieved at that. And he got another helping of DRS as well. Let's have a little look at this overtake on Fernando Alonso. What's this? Oh, my word.
It's certainly inviting.
Oh, we're not... I've got one coming up. Have we watched the Austrian Grand Prix yet on the YouTube channel? Have we? I think we have. Yes, we have. Where Gasly got really unlucky with traffic. And that were a similar situation there. But Sainz now has just been told to calm down on the tyres a little bit. This is going to come to us in a second, so I'm not too concerned about him catching Verstappen immediately. But as we're halfway through, we've got Leclerc in P1, Verstappen, Sainz, Alonso. He's going long in Miami on the Aston Martin. Stroll P5 with the fastest lap. Perez in P6, then comes Russell and Hamilton, the two Mercs. Tsunoda in P9, and then of course Pierre Gasly. We're rooting for Pierre Gasly in P10. When have we got our next pit window? Lap 40 on the dot. Lap 40. Right, we're going to fast forward on a little bit here now. Alonso's just pit, and it must be said Carlos Sainz is now catching Max Verstappen, and Carlos Sainz has caught Max Verstappen, and we know how powerful the undercut is. Verstappen's probably going to get it, but we're going to be lightning quick towards the end of this Grand Prix. We're probably going to fast forward on a little bit further to when Carlos decides he's going to overtake Verstappen, or when he decides he's going to drop out of the DRS of Max Verstappen. How have you dropped out of the DRS, Carlos? That is not very smooth, my friend. Is it? Right. 8.9 seconds. Sorry, tenths of a second now. He's back in the DRS. He must have just made a mistake there. Carlos Sainz. I am thinking as well that we need to start topping up some ERS because we may need it a little bit later. So he's going to start topping that up as he now looks to attack Max Verstappen on the medium compounder tyres. Verstappen's tyres now dead and buried. Carlos Sainz, I would expect to be able to get past Max and not only get past him, possibly burn away from him here. Let's just fast forward on a little bit more. We're seeing them exchanging places. We're not going to watch that replay. We're going to watch the next replay where Carlos Sainz does manage to overtake the Dutch driver, because that should be coming any time now. Should it not? We're not going to get that replay, are we? Absolutely scandalous. My word, does it know we're trying to put a production on here? Lap 31, Leclerc 11 seconds. Bearing in mind they were on the same strategy. Sainz and Verstappen 11 seconds back from Charles Leclerc. If we get a red flag now, I will be absolutely fuming. He's still topping up his ERS, is Carlos Sainz. We're going to get another couple of laps, and then we're going to try and push on a little bit. But I am concerned about our tyres as well. So that is something to bear in mind. I may even switch Sainz onto another set of... No, we won't. We'll carry on. We'll carry on as we are. Charles Leclerc is making this work beautifully at this moment in time. We've just seen, I believe that was Max Verstappen pit. Max Verstappen now is onto the medium, so that is his pit stops done. He is probably going to undercut Carlos Sainz by quite a bit here. Have we got another set of mediums? We haven't. So it's got to be the softs. We stick with our strategies. I normally try and look at the traffic. Max Verstappen's in, by the way. My word. Imagine the expletives coming on Max Verstappen's radio at the moment. He's in such traffic. Lewis Hamilton's on 61%. Max is in dirty air. My word, Max is in a car park. He looks like he's on M25. Does Max Verstappen. My word, that is ridiculous. I can't understand why the Red Bull guys have done that. Carlos Sainz now. We are still topping up the ERS. We'll just now turn that back to neutral. We're on lap 33. We've got a few more laps until we need to come in. I think probably again, strategy-wise, I think probably Carlos Sainz has got to come in before... I mean, that's not making that much difference at this moment. We might bring him in possibly a couple of laps earlier, Carlos, because I think that may suit him. And he's got to try and catch back up. Charles Leclerc could probably go to end on these at this moment in time. But Carlos Sainz now running in clean air. He's going to be in a really nice position. Charles Leclerc, Verstappen's just set the new fastest lap of the Grand Prix on a 1:32.7. What is the gap now between Sainz and Verstappen? 17 seconds. So he's actually gained near on 5 seconds at the moment. But we're going to be quick. We are going to be quick. We've got to stick to our strategy here. And I don't want to have no tyres left towards the end. So that's the current situation we're in. We're going to fast forward on a little bit further. Let's just keep an eye on the... they pit Verstappen into dirty air. The new Ferrari has sorted out their strategy. Exactly. That's it. There's got to be somebody making errors, and we're not making them today. Leclerc's going to come out 8 seconds in front of Verstappen when he comes out. Probably maybe 5. But Sainz at the moment, 17 seconds. Let's just keep an eye on that. Because at the moment, Verstappen is not gaining at a massive rate. And Carlos Sainz now, I want to give him the tyres.
Push. Okay.
There's not too much difference now between that and that. So we're going to bring in Carlos Sainz shortly. I'm aware Verstappen's tyres are on 85%. We are going to say Carlos Sainz pit next lap. Of course, we have not accounted for boxing 2 laps, you say. Well, go on, Race to Glory. I'm going to go with you on that. We'll get him to end of this lap, and then we will pit. Leclerc, I'm so comfortable with at the moment. 22 seconds. He is going to come out behind Perez. Perez, we can probably wait a little bit longer. So, another lap. Right, Sainz there. That's it. Right, Carlos Sainz, he's going to pit now. Pit this lap on to the soft compound tyres. So, Race to Glory. Lovely. That's him coming in. Perez is in, so that works as well. Carlos Sainz is in this lap, and then we'll pit Leclerc on the lap after. Obviously, Leclerc now can push a little bit. Verstappen is catching. He's going to get to in 26 seconds. He's actually now in 16 seconds. He's going to have 6 seconds to make up. Is Carlos Sainz. So let's get Carlos Sainz to the pits. And here he is. Carlos Sainz just coming down that straight. He's been absolutely pushing on everything. He's got a bit more of a battle on his hands today than Charles Leclerc. Charles Leclerc should win this at a canter. And in comes Carlos Sainz. Charles Leclerc is now being told to box this lap. But come on, guys. We need a good pit stop. Easy softs are OP. I hope you are right. What we've also done with that, going a little bit longer, as long as there's no pit stop issue. Come on, guys. It's not bad. It's 2.7 seconds. We will take that all day. Carlos Sainz is going to come out. Now, where is Carlos Sainz going to come out? Where is George Russell? Please let us get out in front of these two. We really need to get out in front of these two cars here. I think we should. We're well out in front of them. Right, let's have a look at what the gap is. Carlos Sainz. Fresh, soft compound tyres. Get them warmed up, lads. And then, as he gets towards the end of lap 1, we are going to push on everything. It's 5.3 seconds to catch Max Verstappen. We'll come back in a little moment. I'm doing it as I'm doing a YouTube video. We'll come back. We'll come back when Leclerc is into the pits, which is going to be very, very shortly. And then, once Carlos Sainz's tyres are warmed up, that is when he's going to be pushing like a madman as well. So Charles Leclerc now coming towards the pits. He's been fantastic all day, Charles Leclerc. He's enjoying... Yeah, we're going for the fastest lap with Leclerc, absolutely. Charles Leclerc has been fantastic. He should come out 5 seconds in front of Max Verstappen. We have got a 5-second gap to Max Verstappen here that we can utilise. Is it a good stop? 2.6 seconds. What a guys. What a guy that all they are. I tell you what, start of the season, we struggled with pit stop, but we have not struggled with them since. Lap 40, 17 laps to go. Charles Leclerc trundling out of the pit lane. Max Verstappen just coming round the final corner. Carlos Sainz is not far behind. And here is Carlos Sainz now. We are looking purple last sector for Carlos Sainz. He's going to be pushing on. And once again, we are going to wait now. Where is Charles Leclerc? As soon as Charles Leclerc gets towards the start of the next lap, which he's going to hit some traffic... This is where we may be struggling. He's going to hit some traffic here, is Charles Leclerc, but this should jump out of the way. This is where we are going for gold with Charles Leclerc in terms of fastest lap. We are going to switch back to the television cameras because Carlos Sainz is purple through the first sector. He's purple through the second sector. Carlos Sainz, is he going to get the fastest lap of the Grand Prix? He is. Carlos Sainz
was a very good lap.
Gets the fastest lap. Max Verstappen did. Carlos Sainz now does. It was a, what lap was that? It was a 131.0. Charles Leclerc's now on a mad one as well. He's going to be pushing. He's having to negotiate traffic. Carlos Sainz, we are burning up the tyres a little bit now. I don't want to burn them out completely. We are having to negotiate a little bit of traffic. 2.6 seconds. Yes, Paula, we are getting there. But Charles Leclerc's loving life. Let's just fast forward on a little bit. I want to see the fastest lap for Charles Leclerc, really, if I can. But I don't think we are quite going to manage it. We're not... Lance Stroll has got the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Right, harvest.
Charge on.
The softs will do their job with Carlos Sainz, absolutely.
And we need to increase leaf and
5/10 faster. It was a fantastic lap, but Lance Stroll has just taken the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. What on earth? Right, Charles Leclerc is now being told you need to conserve your tyres a little bit and harvest the RS because you need to get the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, Charles Leclerc. So he's just going to be told to harvest a little bit. Carlos Sainz is starting to catch Max Verstappen at a rate of knots. Last lap, 1:32.0. He caught him by half a second. Lance Stroll has just got the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. I can't believe that. Lap history. Where is he? He's not even on screen. Lance Stroll, a 1:30.8. Carlos Sainz, 1:31.0. My word. Lance Stroll, credit to you, my friend. Credit to Lance Stroll. He's just gone and done that like it was nothing. Carlos Sainz has saved his... fuel now, so that's absolutely ideal. Leclerc's conserving on his tyres and conserving on everything because I want another shot at that fastest lap of the Grand Prix. So we're just going to fast forward on. Sainz really should be in the DRS in a little while, which he now is. So, Charles Leclerc. I want to get Charles Leclerc in a clear bit of air. We're going to have to use the map view for this. Yes, we are now using map views as well. Right, let's see. Charles Leclerc needs to get past that traffic. Is Charles Leclerc going to get past Nico Hülkenberg here? He possibly is. Right, attack, attack, attack. Charles Leclerc has been told this is the lap to do it. Whereas Carlos Sainz is fighting with Max Verstappen and looking pretty decent, it must be said. We are just going to harvest the ERS a little bit with Carlos Sainz, because as much as I want to get past Max Verstappen, when I do get past him, I want to drop him at a rate of knots. Charles Leclerc now is pushing and needs that Haas to get out of the way, which it has done. Right, Charles Leclerc, this is your fastest lap attempt. And my word, I am expecting a lap from the gods here, because if we lose, Checo Perez has now got it as well. While I'm rambling on, what did Checo Perez just do? Checo Perez just did a 130.6. I don't think we're going to manage this with Charles Leclerc, if I'm honest. Might be wrong, but yeah, that's not ideal at all. And he's also now, Charles Leclerc, he's not going to do it, is he? He's only green. Whereas Carlos Sainz is just tagging onto the back of Max Verstappen, harvesting ERS like you've never seen, because once he gets past him, we want to burn away from him, which he now has done. We are going to try and burn away from Max Verstappen. £200,000 loss to Lance Stroll. I can't say I'm buzzing about that. I don't know about you at home. We're going to just watch the replay of this. I know we've just seen it live. But Carlos Sainz passed Max Verstappen while harvesting his battery. And it allows me to take a breath as well. Lovely move from Carlos Sainz. Leclerc's gone yellow. Leclerc's not had a belting lap, has he? Which now says to me, right, we're going to have to just give over with that now. Yep. Maybe if there's a late safety car, we might bring Leclerc back into it. But Carlos Sainz, Daddy's boy took it away. He did indeed. He did indeed. And I've got to say, at the start of last season, Lance... Oh!
Copy that.
130.3 for Charles Leclerc. What just happened there? Charles Leclerc? What has he just done? How was that? How was that a fastest lap of the Grand Prix? Now, something's either gone really, really wrong with the timing screens there, or that is a ridiculous lap.
Let's lift off.
He was green through the first sector. What did he just do? That was... Whether he just got a final sector from the gods. And by the way, we've just dropped Max Verstappen like he were driving a Toyota Prius. So that's absolutely ideal. And that is as well because we've just got DRS on the back markers. Right, boys, get out of the way because there is a Scuderia Ferrari coming through in Miami. Get out of the way. Well, that's you. Who was that? Valtteri Bottas. We're not very impressed with that, are we? No, we're not. Carlos Sainz now is comfortably P2. Charles Leclerc is comfortably P1. We're now just going to go standard on the tyres to make sure we get him to the end. Charles Leclerc just pulled a lap from the gods out. I mean, we've got to look at this because who had it before? It Perez? Perez had a 130.6. So he did a 33.7, a 21.2 and a 35.6. And then Charles Leclerc did a 33.5, a 21.0 and a 35.8. Does that work? Is my maths not that good? It ought to be. 33.7. 33.7, 33.5. So we're 2 temps up. 21.2, 21.0, 4 temps up. And then it was a 35.8 plays a 35... sorry, a 35.6 plays a 35.8. So we must have done it by about a 10th, maybe? Amazing. Paula, I have got faith in my drivers. Of course I have. Honestly, like, I love these two drivers. I like them in real life. I like them on here. His middle sector was faster than Checo's. Yeah, massively. So he had a great middle sector, didn't he? And then at final bit. But... yeah, we've got faith in his drivers. It just, when you saw it at the bottom, green, yellow, green, you thought, well, that's not ideal. And then he's just run away with it. So what we don't want now, we are just going to, I might just top up a little bit of ERS just because I can. Charles Leclerc is literally going to bring this home. In fact, I might even tell him to go light on the tyres just to make sure we don't make any mistakes. Oh, no. If we go to a safety car, we've got to box.
Now this is Sergio Perez.
Checo Perez, he's fastest lap of the Grand Prix.
And,
Oh dear, there's a lot of Aston Martin. Oh, look at that Red Bull. My word, he's not going to he's not going to go faster in middle sector now, is he? Oh, Checo Perez, oh, last sector. That doesn't bring out a safety car because the last thing we want is a safety car. We're quite comfortable. Let's fast forward on. What lap are we on now? We've got 10 laps to go. Oh, right, we get to see this again because I've not seen this before, which is nice. No penalties given. It is a racing incident, is what that is. Carlos Sainz is trundling along nicely. Those medium compound tyres are starting to look a little bit better than Carlos Sainz's, it must be said. So that's something we've got to be aware of. As we fast forward on once again, lap 49. If it was Sargent, maybe a different story. Yeah, absolutely. He's now just dropped him again. Carlos Sainz has fell a bit lucky there with the DRS. He's 3.3 seconds. Ladies and gents, I think this is job done. We've got 7 laps to go. We're going to fast forward on a little bit here now because I don't really see the need to sort of show too much more. Have we got anybody on circuit who's actually close to each other? I mean, look at this. 13 seconds, 4 seconds. Stroll 16 seconds back. Alonso, then Russell. We move forward once again. I mean, this... I wish my Andretti save was as easy as this. I really, really do. I've never had it this easy. So, it's enjoyable. I hope you're enjoying it, guys, who's watching it. I know it's... is it more fun when you're struggling or more fun when you're winning?
And 4 laps to go.
4 laps to go. 4 laps to go. We are going plan A. Plan A. Sargent and Bottas are close to each other. Sargent and Bottas, you are correct. Sargent is fighting with Valtteri Bottas. Let's watch from Logan Sargent's point of view. Yeah, he's close to the back of the Alfa Romeo, isn't he? Which is he's nice. Do we think Logan Sargent's going to have a better season this season? Let me know. Do you think that? I mean, he had a very mixed first season. I reckon I would have given him another season, but if he's not performing sort of halfway into the next one, then maybe questions have got to start to be asked. But yeah, I mean, this is ridiculous. This is so comfortable. We'll move on again because I can't see Sargent actually catching Bottas unless... Yeah, Sargent's tyres are dead. He's not going to be... Yeah, this year, he's make or break, though. Absolutely, I think it is. And I think for the US interest, in terms of, like, we're on about Chicago as possibly a destination now as well. The Grand COTA is probably the Grand Prix that I'd love to get to this year if I possibly could. I've not been to a Grand Prix before. Monza's one, but we'll see how work commitments go. Congratulations, we've received 100 messages in chat, 100 messages with Restream, 100 messages, everyone. What a time to be alive. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you all spending a part of your Friday evening with me, of course. The struggle to then achieve things, exactly. And that's, I mean, them wins with Andretti Cadillac, when we've got them, it's just been like mental. So that's why, as you can probably hear on the videos, I do start sort of shouting a bit. You got to go. I imagine it is. And you know, Silverstone, Silverstone don't really bother me, but I do like travelling to different countries anyway. So we are now going to fast forward on to the last lap of the Grand Prix. My word, my Siri really wants to get involved in this tonight. Right, final lap of the Grand Prix. Okay, right. Did you go to Silverstone? How was it? Did you? I bet it was fantastic. When did you go? Were it this year or last year or last year or year before? Is what I'm trying to say. But this is the final lap of the Grand Prix, ladies and gentlemen. And Charles Leclerc has driven around Miami today in a Ferrari. He's got the fastest lap of the Grand Prix out of nowhere. He's that light on his tyres, it's absolutely ridiculous. He does, he thinks he's the main character, it's ridiculous. He wants to take a step back. He wants to take a step back, old Siri. If I needed a co-pilot, I've got my co-pilots here with yourself and Paula and all you guys that join in the chat. It's fantastic to have you along. But Charles Leclerc, basically, from start to finish this weekend, yes, our qualifying pace on Saturday wasn't amazing. But Charles Leclerc, I mean, we're on light tyres. Carlos Sainz is conserving tyres. I saw the Hamilton... Oh, did you? Oh, my word. I was fuming as a Verstappen fan at that point, I must admit. I was absolutely fuming with that. But Charles Leclerc is going to come round the final corner, and Charles Leclerc is going to make it back-to-back wins. He won in Baku, and he wins in Miami. Charles Leclerc is your Miami Grand Prix winner. Carlos Sainz, a further 16 seconds back. It is just coming around the corner. He's had a more difficult race today as Carlos Sainz, but he's going to come home in P2, and there we go. Let's have a look.
Charles Leclerc there.
Charles Leclerc. We're going to get the view of him here. You were fuming about the penalty. Okay. Fair enough. Now, it were an interesting one indeed, but what a season that were. But Charles Leclerc wins again. What a time to be a Scuderia Ferrari fan. What a time to come up with a series idea, start streaming it.
Really nice to drive.
And Sainz says the car was really nice to drive because he is, of course, a smooth operator. Smooth operator. And Max Verstappen comes home in P3. It must be said, it's nice to see a Red Bull not winning it at a canter. And the two Ferraris winning it at a canter. Let's just enjoy this.
Now, isn't that the kind of drive we love to see from Charles Leclerc?
Oh, what a moment.
That was a really well-executed race,
Yes.
I thought. Major credit to the driver, the pit wall, and the whole team for that win.
Pure elation there as the driver regroups with a team that works
Look
so
at this.
hard to see this
Everybody
moment.
in this Ferrari team looks like they are operationally at it at the moment. And Verstappen looks a bit miffed, doesn't he? Oh, Verstappen's not
And
happy.
that's excellent.
Oh, Leclerc's
See,
just
both the
like,
teams
oh,
driving
yeah, give me
up
another
there on the
trophy.
podium together.
I'll win every day at week. Look at Verstappen. My word, he's not happy at all.
Miami Grand Prix, I think this is as good a time as any to cool off.
If we get to season 2 on this, which I'm hoping we're going to do, what do you guys think to possibly putting Verstappen and Hamilton at Ferrari?
As far as Ferrari are concerned, Karun,
What do you think
how
to that?
they'll be feeling after that race?
I doubt they could be much happier. A win and a podium place.
Well, I
was a
mean, that's
great
been
way to
absolutely
round out the
fantastic.
weekend.
Well done, guys. We'll come through the classifications in a minute. I think you're starting an F1 Manager career from a YouTube channel. I put out a poll, and twice AlphaTauri and Mercedes, McLaren all got the same number of votes. What would you say? Oh, it's a tough one, that. I like the Mercedes idea. Because that were possibly one I were looking at in terms of, you know, after sort of if we move from Andretti, maybe going to Mercedes. But McLaren, if you're starting from scratch, maybe McLaren, but you're going to struggle at the start. Whereas Mercedes, you're probably going to get towards the front quicker. Between those two, I would say, because AlphaTauri is going to get you a long, long time to get to the front. And it depends how many sort of you want to do, because it takes a long time to get through the seasons. I normally get through about 4 seasons in a game cycle. That's what I got through last year. So, but I'm releasing a couple more this year, I think. So yeah, I would be between McLaren and Mercedes, mate, if it was me. I reckon Verstappen will win as he's younger, but that would be a huge race. I think that could be spicy. That might be something we do if we get to season 2, which I'm hoping we're going to do. I've got some. Well, I said career decisions. I've got some things happening behind the scenes which may change a couple of bits of scheduling, but we'll come to that anyway. I'll come to that at the end. But let's finish this off. Leclerc in P1, Sainz P2, Verstappen in P3. Lance Stroll, I think, has got to go for a bit of a commendation today because he did get P4, but he had the fastest lap at one bit, and that was a crazy lap. Alonso in P5. What about Aston Martin? Just out of curiosity. But again, look, George Russell and Lewis Hamilton at Mercedes. Do you know what I mean? They're in P6 and 7. You've got 3 teams to overtake with Mercedes. There we go. Perez obviously had that crash down to P8 in the end. Lando Norris got a point for McLaren, gaining 9 positions. Driver of the day, would we go Lando Norris? I think we've got to go driver of the day, aren't we, for Lando Norris? Probably Muppet of the day, because that's something we're now introducing apparently, is Logan Sargent, unfortunately. Logan Sargent down in P18, lost 6 positions, not ideal. Drivers standings-wise, however, Charles Leclerc is on 124 points, and that puts him 30 points, because that is quick maths. in front of Max Verstappen. Carlos Sainz is now only 14 points behind Verstappen in P3, and Checo Perez drops down to P4. It must be said, Leclerc has won 4 races this season. Has he? Has he won every race, Charles Leclerc? Have we had 5 races or 4? Am I being silly here, or is that counting sprint? Is this the 5th race? Yes, it is the 5th race because we did 2 races on stream 1. Sorry, ignore me. Yeah, sorry, because I'm thinking we're doing stream 4. Constructors standings wise, Ferrari on 204 points. We are loving life at this moment in time. Red Bull are 39 points behind us in P2 in the Constructors. So that, ladies and gentlemen, has been a decent weekend. If you do go to McLaren, you have got the fastest pit stops to look forward to because they're on 2.4 seconds. We are... Where are we? I can't see Ferrari. Am I being blind here? Where's Ferrari on that? Oh, no, that's just over the season. Fair enough. Sorry. Right. So, yes, this is the 5th race. It certainly is. Fastest pit stop. We are bottom. We need to improve our pit stops, of course. Alpine doing very, very well. Must be said, you can tell I'm not their team principal because they're doing well on the pit stops. And, of course, as we continue, practice Charles Leclerc were first. We won it at a canter. What a weekend that has been. And Giovinazzi, poor old Antonio Giovinazzi, has not done too much at all. Right then, so I'm gonna next Friday. I'm hoping I'm gonna be on next Friday. I know I did a midweek stream at 1 bit on a Wednesday. That's not gonna be this week. But yeah, next Friday I'm hoping to be back again. And yeah, if we get to season 2, that's certainly something that I'll look to do. Of course, we've got the YouTube stuff coming out as per usual. Remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And again, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it so much. You're taking the time out of your Friday evenings to spend a little bit of time with me, and hopefully have a bit of a giggle and see a few things as well. But thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic weekend, and I shall see you hopefully next Friday. And by the way, just to have another look, we are top of the league. Good night.